Whisper Boy.
Spotlight. Welcome to Spotlight. In this episode of Spotlight, we dive deep into the common barriers that keep intelligent and creative individuals from starting their own podcasts. I'm Cyrus, your host, and with me is my extraordinary co-host, Hellexa, an alien technology assistant who's traveled 5,000 light years from another galaxy to help us navigate the world of podcasting. Together, we'll explore challenges like procrastination and perfectionism, providing actionable steps to overcome these hurdles and finally launch your podcast.
Greetings, Earthlings. Today, we're tackling the most common obstacles that keep you from starting your podcast. Whether it's procrastination, lack of confidence, or fear of failure, we're here to help you overcome those challenges and finally get your voice out there.
5 years ago, I asked myself a question. Is it time to finally start helping podcasters? I'm so glad my answer was yes. Although I officially began in 2019, the idea had been brewing since 2014. That's 5 years of missed opportunities because I let those same barriers hold me back. I'm sharing this episode with you so you won't have to lose years of creativity, enjoyment, and success like I did. Let's break down these barriers together and turn your podcasting dreams into reality. You can turn your dreams into reality as long as you put the hard work in. I promise you, you will succeed as long as you follow the steps correctly. Throughout the coming seasons, I will provide you with those steps as long as you stick around and apply the steps I'm providing to your podcast. Section 1. Avoiding risks.
Avoiding risks means closing the door, missing the chance that's yours no more. Make the opportunity yours. Don't avoid the risk, don't close the door. You'll never find if you don't explore. You'll never find if you don't explore.
Let's start with one of the biggest barriers, avoiding risks. Podcasting can feel risky, especially if you're worried about messing up or being criticized. But here's the truth. Every great endeavor comes with some risk. Podcasting is an opportunity to take a calculated risk in a low-stakes environment where the potential rewards far outweigh the initial hesitation. Think of it like learning to ride a bike. You might wobble or fall at first, but once you get the hang of it, the freedom and satisfaction are incredible. Plus, podcasting allows you to connect with an audience in a way that's more personal and direct than any other mediums. The beauty of this platform is that it encourages experimentation and growth. Don't let the fear of the unknown hold you back. Embrace it as a part of the journey. Section 2. Podcastination. Let's talk about podcastination. This is a classic trap, especially for those with sharp minds. You've got great ideas, but somehow you keep putting them off. I like to call this podcastination. Podcastination often stems from a fear of the unknown or a desire for everything to be perfect before you begin. But here's a secret. No one starts out perfect, and that's okay. The key is to take small steps. Start by outlining your first episode or even just brainstorming topic ideas. The act of doing something, no matter how small, creates momentum. And once you get rolling, you'll find that the process isn't as daunting as you imagined. In fact, you might discover that the hardest part was simply getting started.
Remember, Cyrus, stepping out of your comfort zone is where growth happens. You don't need everything figured out before you start. The beauty of podcasting is that you learn as you go.
Absolutely. The key is to break things down into smaller steps. Once you start, you'll realize the task isn't as daunting as it seemed. Remember, progress is progress, no matter how small. And don't be afraid to celebrate those small victories along the way. They'll keep you motivated and moving forward. Section 3. Lack of self-confidence. Even the smartest among us struggle with self-confidence. You might think, who am I to start a podcast? But here's the truth. Your intelligence and perspective are exactly why you should start a podcast. People are looking for fresh voices and new insights, and your unique experiences make you the perfect person to provide exactly that. Imposter syndrome is something that many creators face, but it's important to remember that everyone starts somewhere. Your voice and ideas have value, and sharing them can inspire and help others. Instead of focusing on what you think you lack, focus on the knowledge and passion you bring to the table. Focus on how many lives you're going to change. Confidence grows with experience. So the sooner you start, the sooner you'll feel more assured in your abilities.
To overcome procrastination, take action. Record a simple episode where you talk about what you plan to discuss in future episodes. This will create momentum and help you overcome the initial hurdle.
Think about it this way. The most successful podcasters didn't start out as experts. They became experts through practice and persistence. Your first few episodes might not be perfect, and that's okay.
Perfect and complete is a haunting dream. Imperfect complete is a daily live stream. Don't wait too long, no one likes melted ice cream. Life's a mirror where joy is closer than it may seem.
Each episode is an opportunity to learn, improve, and grow. And with each step forward, your confidence will naturally build. Section 4. Overthinking. Overthinking can trap you in a cycle where nothing gets done. You plan and plan, but never actually start. Overthinking often comes from a place of fear. Fear of what, you might be wondering? I'm glad you asked. Fear of making mistakes. Fear of being judged. Or fear of not being good enough. But here's the tip. Perfection is the enemy of progress. The more you overanalyze, the harder it becomes to take action. Instead of aiming for perfection, aim for progress. Start by recording a practice episode, even if you never intend to publish it. This will help you get comfortable with the process and reduce the anxiety that comes with overthinking. Remember, it's okay to make mistakes. That's how you learn and get better. I always tell new podcasters, done is better than perfect. The goal is to get your ideas out there and refine them as you go. Think of your first few episodes as a learning experience, a way to find your voice and discover what resonates with your audience. The more you practice, the better you'll become. And over time, you'll develop a style and approach that feels natural and authentic. Wine's podcast sponsored Spodlight. Spodlight. Spodlight.
We're dancing in a vineyard, fine wine in our glasses, listening to Wine's podcast before this moment passes. We're dancing in a vineyard, fine wine in our glasses, listening to Wine's podcast before this moment passes. Fine wine in our glasses.
Section 5. Comfort zone attachment. Staying in your comfort zone is easy, but podcasting requires stepping into new territories. It might be uncomfortable at first, but that's where growth happens. The comfort zone is a safe place, but it's also a place where nothing new happens. To grow and evolve, you need to challenge yourself and try new things. Podcasting is a fantastic way to push your boundaries and develop new skills, whether it's public speaking, storytelling, or creative thinking. Yes, it can be intimidating at first, but that's part of the process.
The solution is simple: take action. Even if it's not perfect, doing something is better than doing nothing.
When your fears are gone, what remains is you. True and steady through and through. Between you and your dreams, there's a door called fears. Walk through with a cool smile, not streaming tears. When your fears are gone, what remains is you. True and steady through and through. Between you and your dreams, there's a door called fears. Walk through with a cool smile, no streaming tears.
The more you push yourself, the more confident and capable you'll become. Remember, every expert was once a beginner who decided to step out of their comfort zone and take a chance.
The discomfort is temporary, but the rewards of expanding your horizons are lasting.
Think of your comfort zone like a muscle. It grows stronger the more you stretch it. Each time you step out of your comfort zone, you're building resilience and adaptability. And before you know it, what once seemed challenging will start to feel natural. Embrace the discomfort as a sign that you're growing and moving in the right direction. Section 6. Fear of success. I know, it sounds crazy, doesn't it? Fear of success can be just as crippling as fear of failure. You might worry about the pressure or how success could change your life. It's a strange concept, I know, but very real. Sometimes we're afraid of what will happen if we actually achieve our goals. Success brings new challenges, expectations, and responsibilities. And that can be intimidating. But it's important to remember that success doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process that allows you to grow and adapt along the way. Embrace the journey and trust that you'll be able to handle whatever comes your way. The key is to focus on the process, not the outcome. I repeat, the key is to focus on the process, not the outcome. When you enjoy what you're doing, success becomes a natural byproduct.
Remember, success is a journey, not a destination. Starting a podcast will help you grow gradually into a successful creator.
Success isn't something to fear. It's something to celebrate. Each milestone, no matter how small, is a step towards your larger goals. And with each success, you'll gain more confidence in your abilities and more clarity about your path forward. So don't let the fear of success hold you back. Embrace it as a part of your growth. Section 7. Perfectionism. Perfectionism can be a major roadblock. You might spend hours and hours refining your podcast's script or editing your episodes, only to be too exhausted to publish anything. Perfectionism often comes from a desire to avoid criticism or failure, but it can also lead to burnout and paralysis. The reality is, nothing is ever truly perfect. And if you wait for perfection, you might never put anything out into the world. Instead of striving for perfection, aim for excellence. Focus on doing your best with the resources and time you have. And remember that every episode doesn't have to be flawless. It just needs to be real and authentic and a little bit better than the last one. Your audience will appreciate your authenticity far more than perfection. I know a few podcasts that are, technically speaking, perfect. However, they are not helpful from a problem-solving point of view. So always remember, your audience needs your help, not your perfectionism.
Trust in your abilities. Your voice matters, and the world needs to hear it.
Haters in the habit of turning into never. If you don't do it now, you will regret it forever. Go on, push that button, go on, pull that lever. I'm sure you can do it, cause I know you are clever. You gotta make a start, you can do whatever.
Don't let the chase for perfection hold you back. It's better to make progress, even if it's imperfect, than to be stuck in place.
Think of perfectionism as a form of procrastination. It's a way of putting off taking action because you're afraid of not being good enough. But here's the thing. Your audience isn't looking for perfection. They're looking for connection. They want to hear your voice, your ideas, and your perspective. So let go of the need to be perfect and focus on being genuine. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become, and the less you'll feel the need to chase perfection. Section 8. Lack of motivation. Sometimes it's hard to find motivation to start something new. Without a clear sense of purpose, the idea of starting a podcast might feel overwhelming. Motivation often wanes when we lose sight of why we're doing something in the first place. That's why it's so important to connect with your why. Why do you want to start a podcast? Is it to share your knowledge, build a community, or explore new ideas? When you're clear about your purpose, it's easier to stay motivated, even when the going gets tough. And remember, motivation isn't something that just happens. It's something you create through action. The more you do, the more motivated you'll become.
Connect with your why. Once you tap into that deeper motivation, taking action becomes much easier.
Another key to staying motivated is setting small, achievable goals. Each time you reach one of those goals, you'll feel a sense of accomplishment that fuels your motivation to keep going. And don't forget to reward yourself along the way. Celebrating your progress, no matter how small, can be a powerful motivator. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, or in your case, a single episode. So start small and build from there. Section 9. Misunderstanding success. Many people think of success as a fixed goal, but podcasting is a journey. Success isn't just about the number of downloads. It's about the connections you make and the personal growth you experience. The traditional view of success often focuses on external metrics like fame, fortune, or recognition, but true success is much, much deeper than that. It's about doing something you're passionate about, making a positive impact, and continuously learning and growing. When you focus on the process rather than the outcome, you'll find more fulfillment and joy in your work. And ironically, it's often when the external success starts to come, when you're doing something for the love of it rather than for the accolades.
When you shift your focus from the end result to the process, you'll find the drive to start and sustain your podcast.
Remember, success is subjective. It means different things to different people. For some, it might mean having a small but loyal audience. For others, it might mean reaching as many people as possible. Define what success means to you and let that guide your journey. And don't forget, the relationships you build and the personal growth you experience along the way are just as valuable as external recognition. Section 10. The 3 types of podcasts. Let me ask you something. Right at this moment, which type of podcast is yours? A podcast you wish you made? A podcast you say you want to make? Or a podcast you have made? Out of these 3, only the 3rd type, the podcast you have made, can truly inspire people, solve problems, and change the world because it exists. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of a podcast, dreaming about it, planning it, talking about it. But the only way to make an impact is to actually create it. That's where the magic happens, when your ideas actually take shape and start to reach others. So don't let your podcast remain a wish or a plan. Make it a reality. And remember, wishes don't wash dishes.
Exactly, Cyrus. No one can listen to, share, or be inspired by podcasts that you only wish you made or plan to make someday. But a podcast that's been created, that can be listened to, shared, and make an impact.
And here's the thing. Once you've made that first podcast, you'll realize just how empowering it is to create something and put it out into the world. It's not about being perfect. It's about being present and showing up for your audience. Each episode you create is a step forward, building something meaningful and lasting. So take that step. Turn your podcasting dreams into a podcasting reality. I've done it. And trust me, if I can do it, so can everybody else. Conclusion. Taking the first step might seem like the toughest thing ever. But once you record that first episode, you'll be asking yourself why you didn't do it sooner. Your podcast isn't just an idea. It's a real opportunity to unlock your full potential and share what makes you unique. The world needs your voice, your perspective, and your creativity. So don't let fear or doubt hold you back. Embrace the challenge and start creating.
So, what's holding you back? It's time to hit record and get your voice out there. The world's been waiting for your first episode, Don't keep them waiting any longer.
Which one of the 9 problems of starting a podcast journey is yours, or are you experiencing? Please write to us at info@whisperboy.com. Again, the email address is info@whisperboy.com. Thank you for listening to another episode of Spodlight. If you're ready to stop waiting and start creating, head over to whisperboy.com shop and check out our Podcastologist podcasting packages. Finalize your purchase, and one of our experts will contact you to help create your first episode. All the best on your podcasting journey. And thank you so much for listening to another episode of Spodlight.
Whisper Boy. Hello, I'm Jasmine Ofori, founder of Jude Digital based in the UK. I'm a social media specialist and I do help with paid ads on Facebook and Instagram and other online platforms. Thank you for listening to Spotlight.
Spodlight.
Whisper Boy.